My name is Amy, and thank you very much for watching. Now, let's make some bad financial decisions together. The thing that I was thinking about most of the day today was I've started an investment contract with myself just to organize my thoughts and make sure that I am on the same page with myself and that I remember all of the doodles. Basically, you should have a system in place before you invest. So, um, I have been thinking about how to handle my debts because I've had a very ridiculous situation where I cannot sell my condo. Um, it's been on the market for 16 months and it became non-warrantable, and I don't have the capital for it anymore. Um, the money that you're going to see in the future when I share my accounts, that comes from I sold some crypto, which I had bought during better times, and my tax return. That's it. Um, I had to take out $20,000 because when my house was under contract, I was short $20,000. And so I'm not going to take money out of my crypto from better times because I well, it's been 16 months of paying $3,000 for this condo. I've burned through my emergency fund. And so I was holding off on selling crypto because I'm bullish on it. And also, like, it seems like the longer you keep it, the richer you get. That's investing. But still, I was very hesitant and then it jumped 3 times the price, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I have enough money to do this. Um, so that's where the initial seed money is coming from. But I do have some debts because I was trying to do a short sale through PennyMac, and you have to have a deficit and um, be behind on your mortgage. It's a big pain in the butt. So I decided in January of this year that I needed a generator for the house I'm living in now because I live pretty remotely, and if there's a snowstorm and it's a few days before the power company can come, I don't want to freeze to death. So it was a necessary purchase, but a large one. So I had it in my mind that I had to pay it off by January 2025. So I was going to pay it off in December 2024. And I've been stressing out about this because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like $11,000. I'm trying, since I can't sell my condo, I'm trying to rent it, but I have to get my basic business license, which should take another like half a month, and then it takes a month or two to get it rented, and then the first month of rent my property manager takes plus 7%. So we're looking at like November before I get any kind of cash flow from my condo, and it's not even going to cover the entire. It's a bigger thing, but this $10,000 has been stressing me out too because I don't want to pay interest on any credit card ever. So I do have 3 of them. The slate was also from the short sale. I had to be in a negative cash flow. But I do have until October to pay that off. And I was also going to just pay this off in December of 2024. But if I have some time, I'll probably do it in August or September next year. I don't want to do it like October 12th and they have a problem. And then the custom cash credit card, that is basically 1 month of rent income. So I'm not that concerned about the custom cash credit card. But I've been thinking about how can I pay this in December. about $18,000, and it's kind of more interesting to pay off when you have money for it in the bank. I have, well, now I'm transferring it to Robinhood so that I can invest it, but I had the majority of it in the bank. But once you spend that and it's 0% APR, that's not earning you money. But also the stock market crash and you would lose all of your money. So thankfully I have a job and some time. I didn't think I had that much time because December is coming. Like winter is coming. So I was just going to open up a new credit card and do a transfer because it's a 3% fee and that's lower than the 6.75% at Robinhood, and for margin, because you could do a margin loan because it's a security-backed loan. And right now, if you just have your money in your cash account, you earn 5%. So that's a difference of 1.75%. And they have a transfer thing going on right now where 1% of all of your transfers come in. So that's 6%. And, 6.75%, that's a 0.75% loan. But margin is not, it's variable. So it could jump from 6.75% to 15%. And all of a sudden I have a $10,000 margin loan that has a 13% margin interest rate, and it's much harder to make a profit from that. But doing a credit transfer means that it's a fixed 3%. The payment continues to be low. It gives me time to do rental income. But I think with almost $20,000 of debt, I am maxed out on credit cards. Like, I got denied for the Gemini credit card because they were like, I don't know, you seem pretty risky. You have a default on your mortgage and you have $20,000 in debt. So I don't blame them, but it would be irresponsible. And also, I don't know, to me, like this, I have all the way to 2026. Well, I guess it's the beginning, so December 2025. That gives me so much leeway. I'm not even that worried about it, honestly. And then I should be able to get the majority of this as a different credit card to pay it forward if I really, really felt like it. But I'm leaning more towards margin, or paying it off like a normal person. But in the meantime, this money is going into the market because I burned through my entire emergency fund, and I'm really, really tired of stressing about not having money, which is a weird thing to say when you're gambling in the stock market, but I'm tired about not doing anything about not having money. So, where I'm coming from is in this contract that I've written myself. Basically, I'm going to be taking profit every month from the margin. I'm going to take the difference of like what it is with the margin with what it would have been without the margin and just taking 50% of that. And if it's enough to pay for my taxes, great. If it's not, I'll take out more. But that does, give me more money. So we're talking, also, by the way, any plan that relies on you having a 70% yield is probably a bad plan. But this is what I'm hoping for, and we'll see if I hit these goals. I'll show it to you this way first, and then I'll change it to something reasonable, I guess. But, I put my money in. I'm starting out with $10,000 margin. I'm going to put in $2,000 every month after August that I don't have a renter yet, just to like simulate it having. And then I'm going to basically put the rent in as my investment. And then I didn't put this in here, but basically just keep it at like 25% like of my the capital. So it would be like no. So like right here I would want 13,737 in outstanding margin. And that says I have 14,000. So I probably wouldn't be adding margin till like March or April next year. Anyways, but after that I would try to keep it maintained at 25%. And then when we get closer to December, I can figure out how much have I gotten as a profit from this. But hopefully in December this year, I'm going to be making around $1,900 every month. And then in October next year, when the lease ends, almost $4,000 a month, which would be great. That's just like taking my entire income after, I always forget that this has already taken the taxes and the margin payment out. So this can be my profit from after taxes, whatever. The difference is $7,809. So between that and I can just take a profit from some of these stocks, if we don't go into an extreme major recession and everything is crap, even if that does happen somewhere in here, I could always just not do these contributions and set them aside in a savings account if it's looking truly dire out there. And there's ways for me not to pay 20% interest on a credit card, because if you're paying 20% on a credit card, you shouldn't be investing. And I'm not trying to gatekeep investing, because it's like, okay, well, yield max is yielding 100%, but it's not guaranteed. So if your credit card is a guaranteed 20%, you may as well pay off your credit card first and call that a win. But right now, my credit cards are not bearing interest, and I would like to keep it that way. But I also am a little peeved that I cannot seem to sell my condo, and I have run out of my emergency fund and yield max, because Misty still has 105% on average distribution. So if I change this to 100% and we go to margin, like, I'm gonna have $12,000 in profit. if it's 100%, which, like, nobody, 0% of people should be saying, like, yeah, I'm just gonna get 100% profit in this and everything's gonna be dandy. That's not how you forecast things. That's just silly. Let's go to like 40%. I think that's a reasonable amount for most other high income dividend funds that are not yield max. And if that's the case, I'm still going to get about $4,000 of profit by the time my lease ends. And I have to think about, like, that gives me almost two whole months to figure out how I'm going to sell parts of my $76,000 I have right now in capital appreciation. So, like, why sweat 20,000 when you have 70,000? And the thing about using margin instead of just taking your money out of the stock market is, like, if I took $20,000 out and just paid, that means my margin is also reduced by $20,000. But if I keep the $76,000 of my money, that means I would still have $76,000 of margin that I could use, not that I would use. But, you know, $20,000 of $76,000 that's available. And, you know, if they lower interest rates, they'll probably lower margin. But if I can sell my condo, the problem is it's non-warrantable. So if at any time in the next year it becomes warrantable, I will put on the market, and then I will have more money to contribute and no debt. But if, you know, the lease ends and my tenant either elects to renew, or it becomes, well, I'm just saying, like, if the worst case is well, I guess that's not the worst case, but if my tenant does that, I can just continue contributing $2,000. But hopefully it'll just be like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or less than 12 months before my condo sells, and then I'll have my income, but also a really nice monthly income. Like, even if this is at 40%, I would really, really love it if I could get to $3,000 a month just to cover all the expenses for my condo. And that way I can use my actual salary to pay to bolster my emergency fund and invest like a normal person. But I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm just saying that it would have been better if I could invest without debt, but life is life. And I was just saying that, like, you know, $1,800 a month, it's enough to pay for my trailer's mortgage and my car loan. And that is, you know, with $2,000 of income and $2,000 of investing income, that's $1,000 more than I would have without having the house, if nothing goes wrong with the house. So anyways, I don't know if this was for anybody other than me, but this was my thought process with how do I deal with tackling my debt. And it's basically just either get out a new credit card, pay the 3%, do the margin stuff, take the profit, and pay it a little bit later over time. Because, like, if I take out a new credit card here and March, April, May, in here, from like here to here, that's an additional $6,000, and I only had $10,000 of debt begin with, so it's like it'll get paid off, and pay an extra 3% to not have to deal with it right now because I don't have a spending problem. It was a timing issue, which is different. So, paying 3%, like, and keeping my money in the stock market where it's earning 100% profit distributions, that makes more sense than just paying it off. But we'll see how nervous I am in October, because if I'm still stressing about it, then it's not worth my mental health to save a few $1,000s. So, wow, that is the most privileged thing to say, but that is what normal people recommend anyway. Just don't have debt and be in the stock market, because when the stock market crashes and you have no more money, it is way more stressful than if you are debt-free and not using margin. So, anyway, hopefully you're in a better situation than me. Let me know what your techniques are for avoiding paying interest rate for your credit cards. Anyway, have a good evening, and hit that like and subscribe if you'd like. Bye.